Peter, did you score any deals for Black Friday?
If by deals you mean watch a horrible, horrible Jets football game, then yeah, I scored big, baby.
Wow, that is a deal. You lost. From Wondery, I'm Michele Beadle.
And I'm Peter Rosenberg.
And this is Over the Top. Here's how this show works. The best stories of the week in sports and pop culture face off to crown a champion and answer the simple question, what is the undisputed, most important thing on planet Earth this week? We're going to decide it the only way we know how, using Royal Rumble rules. We'll start with two stories, decide which one is more worthy to discuss and which one has to go. After 90 seconds, a new story will be introduced, and we'll have to decide whether we want to keep talking about our current story or switch to the new one. We don't know the order of stories coming our way, but we do decide which ones get thrown over the top rope. Peter, what's up first?
All right, let's tee up our big contenders. Here we go. First topic's entering the squared circle. When the Clippers played the Spurs earlier this week, Coach Pop got on the house mic. This was very, very interesting. And he schooled the fans, the professional crowd, the paid ticket buyers, schooled them about booing Kawhi Leonard. They, of course, then booed louder. I know you're proud, Beadle. And also the opponent across the ring, Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Wow, Pop and Belichick, couple of goats. Bill Belichick and the Pats were Tommy DeVito's latest victims. Yes, they lost to the Giants 10-7 in a barn burner on Sunday. I mean, must-see TV. You want to talk about your boy Pop schooling the San Antone crowd or Tommy DeVito beating the Patriots?
Peter, we're going to go with Pop. So I will do the honors of throwing Bill Belichick, the Patriots. And you know what? Throw Tommy DeVito in there as well.
Wait.
Over the top. What do you mean, wait?
I mean, I guess you have to, but I don't like that you're taking such joy in throwing him over the top.
My smile's hurting my face. That's how joyful this entire situation is. Yeah, we're going to talk Pop here because I was there. I was working the game. We were calling the game. I thought he was grabbing the mic for like a medical emergency. When the words came out of his mouth, I immediately just looked to my right and thought, uh-oh, that's not going to end well. Because as a booer myself, a card-carrying proud member of the Boo Club, that's going to backfire, and it did. Immediately, he was followed by louder and more consistent boos that rained down from the rafters for the rest of that game and will continue to do so from here until the end of time. It was weird.
I love Pop for doing it. Like, I just love that there's a guy who's been so good and around for so long and is so dear to the team and the community that he feels comfortable doing that, even if in fact the base then does not listen and says, no, we're going to boo more. I just like that he had the cojones to do it. It's the kind of thing you've seen Coach K do, right? But you don't generally see it at the pro level. So I love it from a theoretical standpoint, but like, is it really bad for them to boo Kawhi?
No. As the great Lou Williams told me, there are boos that rain down, and then there are boos. And San Antonio boos, on the scale of boos, are some of the sweeter, more innocent, nice boos. There's no cussing following it. There's no throwing of items. It's a rite of passage for fans. If somebody does you wrong, or at least you feel like they did, that's how you show them. I think it's a sign of respect, quite frankly. How bad would it be to live your whole life and never be booed? It means you didn't matter.
You know what? Fortunately, I won't ever have to live that because I've already been booed.
And now you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, I hear a goat. What is this? We're just starting the whole show off with the goats entering the ring. Tom Brady. So there's a lot of mediocrity in today's NFL. Alex Smith responded by saying, quote, he played in the most uncompetitive division in history. Do we want to continue talking about Kawhi, Pop, and the boos, or do we switch to Tom Brady and Alex Smith? What a picture of Tom Brady we're using. That's fun.
Rare that you see Pop look more handsome than Brady, but I think in this case, that's exactly what's happened. And for that, I think we chuck the old man over and talk about Tom Brady because this whole thing was rich. I mean, There's the Alex Smith point, right? That Brady played in a mediocre AFC East throughout his entire career, where the Dolphins stunk the entire time. With the exception of a couple of Rex Ryan years, the Jets basically stunk the entire time. The Bills generally stunk and only got good at the end when Brady was on his way out. So there's some validity there. But Beadle, the part to me that was so compelling about all of this is everything Brady said about the competitive issues facing the NFL is 100% accurate, but it's literally as if those rules in some ways were created for Tom Brady. I mean, this is a guy who was able to have an incredibly long career and play into his mid-40s, not just because he's incredible, which he is, but also because for the last 10 years, Beadle, you could not hit this man. You could not get near him. I never even saw him get dinged. I mean, the entire league sort of operated sort of like the Jordan rules with the Brady rules. So even though what he said made sense, Beadle, it was just like, dude, how are you the person saying this without at least acknowledging, oh, by the way, there's no bigger beneficiary to this than me?
That would have been a nice sort of, if he would have added it, or maybe he says, nah, that was all for Carson Palmer. It wasn't my fault. He might have gone with that route as well. But I think part of it is there's 300 million reasons why Tom Brady is so vocal these days, and Alex Smith is looking to get a piece of that pie.
Ooh.
And I like his style. Yeah, I've thought about this.
Yeah, I can tell. A lot of Alex Smith thought, all right, whose music is that I hear? After being ejected in his return to Phoenix, Chris Paul called his decade-long feud with referee Scott Foster, quote, personal. Do we want to stick with Brady and his commentary about the NFL and its softness and the rules, or move on to Chris Paul? I'll tell you right now, Beadle, I think there's still a lot more on the Brady tree, but I know you're an NBA gal, so let's see where you want to go.
I mean, look, there's not a ton to say about the Chris Paul, Scott Foster thing other than it's amazing. I love every second of it. I love the fact that these two people do not care for each other. One called one a B, the other one threw the other one out. Loved everything about it. That being said, I will once again take pleasure and I will lift with my back because I don't know how to lift with my legs correctly. And I will throw Chris Paul and Scott Foster over the top rope because I'm with you. I think we stay here with Tom Brady because, again, I'm fascinated not just by what he said, but that he's saying it. This man was so boring during his entire career as a football player.
Oh, that's another angle. Wow.
By the way, and I get it. It's the Derek Jeter theory. It's fine. I find it kind of interesting and fun now that we're getting quotes out of Tom Brady. Quotes. Things that could be considered spicy even. Not where I thought this was going, and I'm here for it. I also thought he said something about the development of young players, that's not being done enough as well. And I again, have no issue with him saying that as well. Throwing some of these young kids into the fire, I don't know that it's good for their overall long-term careers, but who am I? I'm just a person consuming Tom Brady quotes.
Listen, he said a lot that was true, and a lot I think could have been more specific. There are real problems with the NFL, particularly this year. You're seeing the quality of play is just generally ass across the board. I mean, even the teams that are really good are not really that good. I mean, Kansas City was down 14-0 to the Raiders this weekend. Yeah. Are the Bills good or nah? I mean, the Eagles are probably the best team in the league, and they lost to the Jets. Like, it's just hard to sort of put your finger on who's really great in this league right now. I think a major part of that, Beadle, is the fact that the Players Association and the league have agreed to let these teams play 90 games a year. It's only going to get worse. It's going to go from 17. They'll be playing 20. They'll get to the point where they do not practice at all.
Fine.
Because the bottom line is the money, the moolah, the cash. So they're not practicing. They're just playing games. And as a result, quality's down. There's a lot of issues throughout this league.
Actually, I disagree completely. I like parity, even if it means the whole overall product's just slightly worse.
Well,
I
didn't say I don't like the parity.
Sounded like it.
No, I like the parity. The fact that you have interesting games every week, I think is 100% compelling. But there have also been some bad weeks where you just can't find a game where the quality of play is good. Like, I'll say this for Buffalo, Philadelphia this week. It was a good game. Right? It wasn't a flawless game, but it was an endlessly entertaining game at least.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And poor Bills fans. All right, I hear new music. Oh, I actually hear new music, and it's getting louder. Maneater, anyone? Oh, yeah. Hate to see it. Daryl Hall filed a restraining order against John Oates. Say it ain't so. Do we want to
Well
continue
done.
talking? Thank you. Do we want to continue talking about Tom Brady and his wisdom? Or do we switch to the legal woes of one Hall and one Oates?
Well, seeing as Hall & Oates is one of my all-time favorite groups, I've seen them in concert many times.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to I'd like to go to Hall & Oates and say goodbye to Tom Brady. So, okay, a couple things here, Beadle. This isn't a shock. They have not been into each other for a very long time. Like, basically ever. And you can feel in concert, you can see that they're just like two dudes on stage who play in a band together, but don't really like each other that much. I think the best thing we have going for us, though, here is the amount of bad puns that we can make about it. For example,
I'm so bad at this. Okay.
For example, Daryl Hall was all, yo, man, I can't go for that. All right. Now you.
Now me? That's it.
Okay, here, I'll help you. I'll give you another one.
Okay.
Hall has totally lost that loving feeling. You know what I mean?
Wait, what? That's them?
Well, they did a famous cover of it.
Okay, fine. That's fine. I don't know if we're going to count that, though. Oates probably got the news and was served and said, say it isn't so. I can't.
There you go. That's good. That's good.
I hate puns. I like laughing at other people doing puns, but I suck.
Maybe Daryl Hall actually filed the papers himself because he's in fact a lawyer after doing some adult education.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Now that's a path.
That was a journey that we just went on. By the way, is this true that they have not liked each other even since the initial formation of the band, because they were both under the assumption that they would be two individual acts and they would go by Daryl Hall and John Oates, and the record label put Hall and Oates, and they've been stuck with that since day one?
I don't know, but I like that story. By the way, Hall was all like, you're a bitch, girl. Anyways, our final topic before the break is entering the ring, and wait for it, it's Tim Tebow.
No. What year?
Can we just throw him over the top without even hearing what the rest of the story is? Tim Tebow is being inducted to the College Football Hall of Fame. Do we want to move on to Tebow or continue to talk about the great Hall & Oates?
There's a part of me that thinks this is a great opportunity to make fun of the University of Florida.
You know what? I'm always up for it.
All right, so let's do it. I'm hoping that Hall & Oates can figure it out, do whatever it is they need to do, and just bless us with greatness and more tours, because Nostalgia Tours is where it's at. Bye, Hall & Oates. All right, Tim Tebow. Look, first of all, I assumed he was already in the College Hall of Fame. Did you not?
Well, he's the poster boy for the College Football Hall of Fame, right? Like, isn't that who you want? Don't you really want to focus on guys who sucked in the pros but were absolute studs in college? He is the guy.
God, he really is who would be the second place to him? Oh, Johnny Manziel, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe, but Tebow's even better. Tebow,
yes.
Okay, he was on the Gators for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
2 BCS national championships, a Heisman Trophy, first team All-American honors twice.
Yep.
Went into Florida's Ring of Honor, and then came to the league and was just like this bizarre pariah for people. It was so strange. The Tim Tebow thing was a weird moment in time. Like, don't get me wrong, I found him annoying, but I also found that people's obsessive hate for him was weird. It made me kind of oddly root for him at times too.
Well, I can speak for the people that hated him. We, as a group, generally do not fall for people who seem too good to be true. We don't like it. It makes us uncomfortable, and we lash out. And that is my part as spokesperson for that group.
For the nasty, negative, horrible.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's not what we call ourselves. We call ourselves realists.
The realists. I know it. You are a realist.
We are halfway through the show right now. Oh, my God. The most important topic of the day, I can't believe I'm saying it, is Tim Tebow going into the College Hall of Fame. Thank God there's more show left.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to last.
We'll be back. Welcome back to Over the Top. Man, Peter, I'm a little nervous as we move forward. What's our next challenger?
All right. Well, we already know Tim Tebow is awaiting an opponent, and that opponent will be Thanksgiving halftime performance reviews. Dolly Parton's very, very good. Ooh. Jack Harlow, and not so much.
Oh, man.
Do you want to talk about your boyfriend, Jack Harlow, and the great Dolly Parton, or do you want to stick with the Tebow?
Nope. Don't want to stick with Tebow. And I'll be honest with you, you could have put any topic there and I would have chosen that. But it just so happens I like this one. So, Timothy Tebow, we bid you adieu, sir. And we are going into the Dolly Parton, Jack Harlow of it all. You know what? I am actually glad this is coming up, Peter. Dolly Parton can do no wrong in my eyes. She's amazing. I love her. I was just enthralled. But I do want to ask you about the Jack Harlow of it all. Was it that bad? I mean, I felt like it was just a show.
So it's funny that you say that, right? Like I posted a little IG story of it just because I like Jack and I wanted to show support. Like, hey, I'm seeing you, bud. There you go. And like people were like replying to my story, like, yeah, worst ever, right? I mean, it sucked. And I was like, okay, am I sending it straight to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for all-time best performances? No. Nope. However, have you ever seen any of the other halftime performances at the Lions games? The Thanksgiving halftime shows for Detroit are always weird because Super Bowl halftime performances are friggin' weird too. Yep. But they spend $1 billion making it that fake. They have the fake crowd on the field. They do the whole thing to make you forget the weird coldness of this fake concert. Whereas at the Thanksgiving halftime show, your management has to say yes to you getting it because it's a national TV look. Everyone's watching the game. I'm sure they pay you a nice chunk of cash, probably a nice little 6-figure check to show up in Detroit for a couple hours.
And you get to bring your friend with the blue hat.
You bring your friend with the blue hat. Don't know why he was the one, but whatever. That's his guy. So, okay. But the performances are weird. They're always weird. It's not a natural way to perform. So I don't know why everyone was killing Jack. And yeah, Dolly Parton is like 78. I mean, she's killing it.
78. She's up there in a cheerleader uniform, killing it.
Am I allowed to say, will it sound bad in 2023 if I say I'd still holler?
I would holler.
How could you not?
I think I know. I think we're on the same page.
Yeah,
I love her. I took pictures of her on my TV because I was in awe. She's the best. And by the way, I didn't think the Jack Harlow thing was bad. He played the songs I wanted to hear. We're good.
Yeah, but you're biased. We know how you and Jack are about each other.
First of all, shut up. Okay, my turn. This next challenger is frightening. Francis Ngannou is likely, I'm putting quotation marks around that, to fight Deontay Wilder in a hybrid rules bout in the PFL in 2024. Hybrid rules. Do we want to continue talking about Dolly and Jack? By the way, Steve Aoki, we didn't even mention you. Or do we switch to this likely fight, Peter?
All right, well, Dolly, we respect you. And Jack, I love you, but you're both going over the top. Let's talk about what this could look like.
Yeah.
Francis Ngannou, who's coming off of his big moment, of course, against Tyson Fury. Yep. Now he could have a mixed rules bout with Wilder. So that's interesting. So it goes from all of a sudden, Ngannou's the underdog in a sport that's not really his sport. I see the news that he might get Wilder, right? Mm-hmm. Now, Wilder is not close to the fighter Fury is, which is why, Fury beat him in a trilogy time after time, in spite of the fact that Deontay put up a good fight. Fury is a far superior fighter. So I thought, that makes sense. Ngannou puts up a good fight but loses to Fury. He gets a boxing match with Wilder. But no, they're now going to make it mixed rules. So it's going to play into Ngannou's hands. It's very compelling. What the hell is Deontay Wilder going to do besides box? Do you know I can't picture Deontay Wilder doing anything except throwing those haymakers. How
does a mixed rules fight look? Is a mixed rules fight not just now an MMA style fight?
That's how I take it, right? Is that like, if it's boxing rules, but there's also some kicking, aren't we basically talking MMA?
Yeah.
And wouldn't that lean really heavy in favor of Ngannou?
Maybe you're like only allowed to kick, but you can't do choke holds and stuff. I don't know. I don't even know.
Maybe there is no grappling. Maybe it's kicking and boxing. I don't know. Either way, I'll tell you what. Take my money.
I was going to say take my money. We're on the same page. Oh, you know what? Let's just not take our money twice. Let's go to each other's house, one of us. And
I was about to say.
One money.
If you're in New York at the time, that's a good get-together moment.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like a double date situation?
Yes.
All right, now who is coming down to the ring to take on Francis Ngannou and Deontay Wilder? A list of the most hated characters in television has dropped. And yes, Joffrey from Game of Thrones took the #1 spot. Do we want to discuss TV villains or Ngannou and Wilder?
Come on, dude. Look, we're going to watch that fight. They don't need to sell us any more on it. We're in. You had me at hybrid. Gentlemen, if you don't mind showing yourselves out kindly and gently, thank you so much. But my goodness, to talk about the Grayson Allen of television, yes, please. Hateable, yes. Punchable, Yes. Murdered by people on his own show. Yes. And by the way, to go on to this list, that's an honor, is it not? From that show alone, Peter, you could do like 3 or 4 characters.
Oh,
easily.
yeah. That's such a great point. Just Game of Thrones, the heel breakdown is a lot.
Yeah.
I love breaking down the best heels on The Sopranos. That's a favorite topic
Were
of mine.
there heels on The Sopranos?
Oh, my God. Are you kidding? Ralphie?
No, I thought he was cool. Who else?
No, you did not think. Let me you don't remember the whole story arc. Richie
Yes,
Aprile.
I do. Oh, he was fun. He was great. He had a spark in his eye.
No. He was a really bad guy.
Fair enough. All right. Who else? Ralph Macchio.
Then, of course, the guy from New York at the end, the last boss in the final season of Sopranos.
Oh, God. Yes. No,
Johnny Sacks guy.
Also misunderstood, but I could see where you would think he was hateable. Sure, maybe.
But either way, Joffrey, no one's arguing with Joffrey,
no one's
right?
Arguing with Joffrey. Do you think if you're the actor that played Joffrey, that you took that news and went, I crushed it. I absolutely crushed it.
Oh, how do you not?
I don't know. Some people are sensitive. Maybe he was like, I didn't think I was supposed to be hated that much.
What about Newman from Seinfeld?
I love Newman from Seinfeld. That's the best character.
You love all the heels.
Is that not supposed to be the best one? This is actually happening. Is that cult of personality? It's happening. Hell has officially frozen over. CM Punk made a shocking return to WWE after I can't believe it's been 9 years. It happened this weekend at Survivor Series. So do we continue talking about hateable, fictional characters led by Joffrey, or switch to the return of Phil Brooks? Peter?
I would like to go to CM Punk.
I knew you would.
Yeah, I would. How about you? You good with that?
I'm fine. Look, he and I used to be friends. We had a falling out. It was public knowledge because it was witnessed by the public. I wish him nothing but the best, but I am a little shocked that he's back. I'm happy, though, because there's never been, for my money, anybody better on the mic. So I'm shocked it's happening. I'm pleasantly surprised. But you must be thrilled.
Well, yeah, the way I found out was just fascinating. I did not know. I was there. People thought I gave a tip during the kickoff show. Like I hinted to it totally by accident.
Wait, what was the tip that people thought was a tip?
We were in Chicago.
Right.
By the way. And so the fans behind us at the kickoff show, they were chanting CM Punk on and off the whole night. But at the beginning of the show, when everyone's cheering, I was like, we're in front of the fans, some of the best in the world. And everyone thought that because I said best in the world, which, if you don't know, if you may not be a WWE or a wrestling fan, is one of Punk's things, best in the world. So people thought I was saying something. I was not.
That's awesome.
In fact, I was sure it was not going to happen. And then as the night went on, I started hearing like little things. I'm like, no way. And then like 2 seconds before it happens, someone I'm with makes a joke to someone else, like, yeah, CM Punk's coming back. And someone else who was in the know was like, huh? And I was like, no way. And then the music hit. And I was like, hey, listen, I've never been more wrong. I declared he was absolutely never coming back. I just thought he was a serial bridge burner and a habitual line stepper. And he may be, but you know what? The WWE, listen, let me tell you something. Mm-hmm. You have to respect the petty, okay? They may have not been, begging to get in business with CM Punk, but they love sticking it to another wrestling company. And boy, does signing CM Punk do that.
Enemy of my enemy, indeed. And yes, he's a bridge burner, but now we've learned that bridges can be mended with some rope and some tape and some hope.
And by the way, no one does it better than WWE. Everyone has always gone back. There's never been a bridge burn that wasn't able to be rebuilt. And I have to tell you, now heading towards the Royal Rumble at the end of January and WrestleMania season, like, it changes everything. It's thrilling. It's immediately must-see TV. Hey, move, bitch. No, not you. I'm talking about Ludacris, of course. Move, bitch, get out the way, because the next challenger is approaching the ring right now. Ludacris repelled from the top of Mercedes-Benz Stadium while rapping Move, Bitch to perform at the end of the third quarter of the Falcons-Saints game this past weekend. Do we want to talk about Ludacris repelling from the top of Mercedes-Benz, or do we want to talk about CM Punk? You know how I feel. Love Luda. Yeah. But I'm kind of good.
I don't know that I have a lot to add to Move Bitch, other than the excuse to just say Move Bitch for the next, 90 seconds.
Well, you know what? Then say it to Luda.
Okay. Mr. Ludacris, is it? Move Bitch, please, over the top if you don't mind. Let's go back to Punk because I am with you. Knowing him a little as I once did, I am a little surprised that he's going back. And I don't know how much of that has to do with, Vince McMahon is not as vital a part, but although I never will believe that. So I don't know what it took behind the scenes other than just like, hey, here's some money. Why don't we just do this again? But the pride factor involved, or was it just there were no other options at this point?
Well, that's the thing. So it puts WWE in a beautiful position because the way Punk went out at AEW was so bad.
Yeah.
That bridge is 100% burned. Like, that's not an option. He did not disappear for this long. I'm sorry. I know everyone loved to believe that Punk is just the ultimate purist. He's not going to New Japan. He's not going to Ring of Honor. CM Punk is doing one thing. He's getting one more monster payoff. And the place to do that is in the big leagues with the big boys and girls at WWE. And WWE then, whatever offer they might have given him at a different point in time, I'm sure isn't the same one they give now when, frankly, what other choice does he have? So I think they were in a great negotiating situation, and he's in a situation where he's like, wow, I can really stick it to AEW and have another run. And let's be honest, if this run goes well and is cool, dude, he'll gloriously ride off into the sunset. He'll go into the Hall of Fame. He'll be good with WWE for life. Everything will be forgotten. So why not? It makes all the sense in the world.
No, it's. I mean, I can't believe it's been 9 years. It does not feel that long.
I know.
Now that I'm saying it out loud, that's a little bit weird. All right. What music is this? Is this Love Hurts? Great song. No, it's Jalen Hurts. It's Jalen Hurts. The Eagles defeated the Bills thanks to Hurts' fourth quarter heroics and a 59-yard field goal by Jake Elliott in the rain. Do we want to continue talking about the return of CM Punk, or do we switch to a little Eagles-Bills action?
I guess I'm going to leave it to you because
No!
if it was up to me, I think we could start talking about CM Punk, where he could end up historically if this goes well, who we'd like to see him with, blah, blah, blah. But listen, I'm the biggest wrestling fan ever. If you want to, I totally understand talking about this incredible Eagles team as well. So I'm going to leave it to you.
Much like it has felt talking about this Eagles team all season long, I just don't have a ton to say other than they are 10-1, best in the league as far as records are concerned, but for some reason not garnering the kind of respect that you would think one 10-1 team would have in the NFL. So I am actually, Peter, going to throw the Eagles over the top rope.
I love it. I love what you've done.
I'm gonna do it because look, in his heyday, at his highest point, I cannot remember a wrestler, Stone Cold Steve Austin probably, that was as exciting and as fun. And when the music would hit, you were just lost your mind to the point where crowds have been chanting for him years after he was gone, knowing that bridge was burned and he wasn't coming back. Although, last laugh is on them because he came back. So for my money, put it this way. I check in every once in a while with wrestling, but I haven't done it as I used to, where it's like every week I'm on top of all of it. I'm in. I have to see how this goes.
I'm with you. I mean, there was a time right before Punk came back to AEW where I was like so enamored by the idea of him returning to wrestling that like I really was reminiscing and saying crazy things about like the summer of Punk going back to 2011 for me being just about as popular as anyone's ever been in the modern era of pro wrestling. He was
easily.
Sometimes it's hard to figure out why. Like if you had to explain to people, what is it about CM Punk that connects with people so much? I would sort of struggle to find exactly what that thing is. But more importantly,
I know what it is.
What is it?
It's the idea of being anti-authority while still sort of dominating within that world. But, I think it started also as like he was straight edge and he did his own thing and he didn't look like the other guys. And he kind of had like an average build. Like people relate to that, I think.
No, I think that's right. He took the stone cold anti-authority thing, mixed with the straight edge and this like, how could you really be a tough guy? Like you don't look like your typical tough.
It was a Chicago twist on Stone Cold. Stone Cold's Texas.
Most importantly, though, why don't you tell us what happened between you and Punk? I'd like to mend this.
It was at one of their events. I believe it was in Seattle or Portland. It was definitely Pacific Northwest. WWE asked me to come host it. I was with John Cena doing a thing. But beforehand, Triple H was taking me around. I had my assistant at the time. And yes, there was a time I had an assistant. What
wow, these were the years.
But he and I had been friends. Like, we had gone to lunch. We'd hung out before. I'd seen him in Chicago. Like, this was a thing. As I'm walking through, I was like, hey, fuckface, which is my term of endearment for almost anyone that I love and I think is like a friend. Well, his then girlfriend, now wife, took offense to it, came up to me, got in my face. I thought she was kidding. I laughed. She wasn't kidding. It turned into a thing. Everybody made it a big deal. Triple H was mad at them. And so then we stopped being friends. And it was really that simple. It all came down to the word fuckface.
I have to tell you, it's an amazing story. I actually already knew it when I asked. I just didn't know.
Did you think I was going to lie and make up something better?
I know you're a straight shooter. You got to tell it again. I just wanted people who didn't hear it to get to hear it because it's a wild story. Like,
it is dumb.
You know, one day when I get my CM Punk interview at some point here, I got to ask.
I mean, look, it was disappointing.
It just happened and he just stood there?
He just stood there, and that was shocking to me. But, I get it. When you're in love with someone, that's all you know. You protect that person. It is what it is. But I'll never forget it. It was such an awkwardly weird moment to be a part of. I'm not going to lie.
It is. Wow.
I thought she was kidding. I still do.
But I know what you mean. All right, well, guess what? That's it. That's 90 seconds. We've come to a decision.
Dang.
The new, undisputed, most important thing on planet Earth this week is the return of CM Punk to WWE. You think we got it right? Let us know. But that's it for us, Beadle. We did it.
Dude, we did another one. Woohoo!
There you have it, folks. We will do it again next week. That's right. We'll get together and determine the only thing you need to care about and what goes over the top. Good night, fuck faces.